Assalamu alaikum. Hujambo mtazamaji na karibu katika kipindi Ripoti Horizon. Jina langu ni Ibtisam Jamal. Karne baada karne, wazazi wanapeleka watoto wao shule bora ili kuweza kuhakikisha kwamba wanapata elimu bora ambayo itaweza kuwafaa katika maisha ya mbeleni. Lakini mwamko mpya umeanza kuonekana humu nchini. Hii ni kutokana na idadi ndogo ya wazazi kuweza kujitolea kuweza kufunza watoto wao nyumbani, almaarufu homeschooling. Katika kipindi chetu cha leo tutaweza kuangazia jinsi wazazi hawa wanachukua bidii yao kuweza kufunza watoto wao kwa njia tofauti. Makala yetu ya leo tumeweza kuenda sehemu mbalimbali katika kaunti ya Nairobi kuweza kujifundisha zaidi.
The cost for homeschooling, I like to look at it in different aspects. We may not be paying tuition because we don't pay a teacher. However, because it's my time that is taken to teach her, some costs cannot be quantified. But I also say that homeschooling can be as cheap or as expensive. We do 844. And one of the ways that it has worked for us is that we actually get hand-me-downs books, so we don't buy books. Then there's lots of free curriculum online that we started using and we still use to enhance. In that aspect, we also don't incur a cost. Thirdly, we also belong to a co-op and we have a resource center where we get to borrow books and as many books as we want. So in terms of material, then we do not incur costs. We, however, enhance. So things like molding clay, if we need to use, if we don't make our own, then we have to buy. We have to buy charts and things to color. So those are the minimal costs that we do incur. And so on my part, since I'm also a crafter, when she's doing her work, then I'm doing my job. That way I end up paying myself and I'm not spending a whole day just sitting with her as she's doing her schoolwork, because I finished my school. I'm just helping her to go through hers. So I can't sit there the whole day. It's boring and it's annoying.
You're better equipped than a normal teacher because you have watched this child from when they were born. So you already have a good idea how they learn, what they enjoy doing. You can build a lesson around anything.
Is that question, especially from family members, like, have you gotten a school yet? Because I think for them, the whole, you've moved to Katika, and yes, there's no AC school there, and maybe that's why you're homeschooling. But now they find her very comfortable doing the homeschooling, and they're also finding us being very comfortable doing the homeschooling. And I think that's been a hard one for us, because it works for us, it works for her.
Mtoto ndiye aweze kudevelop tabia ya trust, lazima aanze katika umri mdogo sana, 0 to 1 years or 0 to 2 years. Mtoto pale anaanza kudevelop trust, na hiyo trust au kuamini ambaye ni tabia ambayo Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallam ametuhusia, na pia ndani ya Qur'an Mwenyezi Mungu ametuhimiza. Kwa hivyo mojawapo tu katika hizo tabia, hawezi kuamini mtu au kujiamini au yeye kuaminiwa ikiwa hajaweza kuamiliana na watu, hataweza kujua value of trust.
So when we do field trips, when we go places to explore, when we go out sometimes, it costs. And so those are the costs for homeschooling that I would say.
It's a very relaxed atmosphere. And one of the best things is we do interest-based learning. So whatever my child is interested in, those are the things we take on to learn through. For example, my kids love animals. So it doesn't mean that I'm just limiting them to animals. Through animals, they learn vocabulary, they learn counting, like my daughter was just counting the chicken's legs, their feet. They learn different things. It's not boring.
At the beginning of every term, because we are a school, we have to prepare for the school term. One of the things we have is a timetable, which is basic and she can read. So she's able to know what subjects we are doing, at what time. We kind of try to follow it, but what we are requiring from her now is that she's able to just meet her goals. She's able to do whatever she's assigned for the day. in whichever order she prefers. Sometimes she prefers to start with maths and then or finish with maths, whichever order, as long as she's finished the work that has been assigned to her. We also prepare schemes of work and just see what she needs to do within this term. And so at the end of the term, we also review to see if we were able to meet our goal as well, because we are a school.
What keeps me going as a homeschooler is that moment when your child's eyes light up when they grasp a concept. There's nothing quite like that. And when they repeat back what you have taught them, but they make it their own. And now they are the ones questioning what you have asked.
No, I think the kind of education we went through really put us into situations where we had to choose between having a teacher and a mother. But every parent is actually a teacher to their child, because you teach them how to potty, you teach them how to button their shirts and tie their laces. It's the same thing. It does not change when it comes to classwork, because if she has a problem in maths, she will come to me and I will answer her and teach her how to do fractions, for example, the same way I will teach her how to potty. So it doesn't matter how many accidents we have during potty, it's the same way we have accidents during fractions and we learn. So there isn't really, I don't have a special name for school time like teacher and then mommy in the evening. It's just, mom, please, I don't know how to do. Yeah.
One of the main questions that come as a negative to homeschooling is the socialization. You saw my kids. You're kind of strangers to them. You're not really well known to them. But they have no problem opening up with you. They come, they'll talk to you. They're very confident in themselves. So the socializing has never been an issue for us. They're very close in age, so they socialize with each other. They have no problem playing with other kids, but they're also comfortable with adults. They don't shy away.
Social growth kwa mtoto ni muhimu sana, na hata Mwenyezi Mungu ametuambia litaarafu, ametuumba makabila tofauti na mataifa tofauti ili tuweze kuamiliana, tuweze kujuana. Kwa hivyo huwa sana, na hiyo ndio the main disadvantage inaathiri mtoto psychological growth.
You're there with the child every step of the way. You're able to catch anything and correct it immediately. There's also the student to teacher ratio, 1:1, or however number of children you have as opposed to a normal school where it's 40 students per one teacher. Therefore, attention to details is there. We have the opportunity to see the weaknesses and strengths in a child immediately or as they occur, because you're there again. And then we also are able to guide the child in whatever way they feel they have strengths into, and where they feel weak also, to just encourage them to come up. Yeah, but above all, you get to teach them and love them and do.
My daughter is 6 now. She's learned how to read. She's learned all of this through playing. I've never sat her down. You must do this. Now we're doing a bit more structured because she's asking for it, but it's never been fully structured. They get to enjoy learning, and my kids have a love of learning. They come to me with books. Read this for me, or do this, let's do this. So they enjoy learning, because learning has been made fun for them. And this is a lesson that they can carry on into adulthood, or not something that they just get bored of and they want to escape.
Number one is the time. I know many people would like to do this, but they don't have the opportunity nor the time to be able to do it. Secondly, it's the part of, I have to be self-disciplined first in order to teach my child. Otherwise, there's a chance that we will all be waking up at midday and then we do nothing and then we go back to sleep and we think we'll do it tomorrow. There are days we've done that, but it calls for discipline on my side, which to me, I think it's a challenge, but again, on the flip side, it's growing something in us.
So when they see their mother doing it, when you see the mother doing it, how will they be scared? How amazing is this? So this is a constrictor. It's not poisonous, it's not venomous, it has no teeth. So it can't harm my kids at all, unless it constricts, which is really rare.
You can find rivalry in school, because we are constantly fighting to beat the person in number one, to the point where we hate intelligent kids because they make us look bad. Yeah, there is always the chop of the class who we want to shoot every day because they always come up tops. But here, your child is competing with a better version of themselves.
One of the benefits of homeschooling is you can see the difference yourself. My kids are much more engaged in whatever they're learning. Rather than just skipping past subjects, we fully immerse ourselves into it. For example, we were learning about amphibians. So we didn't just learn about amphibians. We went out, we got frogs, tadpoles. We saw them turning into frogs. My kids got to see the whole thing. They got to hold them. They got to experience. So the good thing is we get more experience, not only the written part of it. It's more practical. They get out there. They run around with animals. They get to see different things, which is not what normal kids will get to do in school.
Now, one of the beautiful things of belonging to a co-op and belonging to a group of parents is that we, number one, have strengths and weaknesses. So I may be very strong in arts, but my friend is strong in maths, another one is strong in physics. So what we do is we can change our schedule. The children, when it's physics, they go to someone's house and learn. But secondly, also when we need labs, we also have labs like Cambry and other places that offer, Kenya Science used to have, I think they still have, where they open up to homeschoolers and the children are able to go there for lab tests.
Yes.
Yes. So there's a system that is already working and people are already doing these things. There are simple tests that require just litmus paper that you buy from our school and you come and do bicarbonate and something and mix from the house and you're able to get those results.
Socialization for a homeschooler can become complicated. For example, when we moved out of town, we moved to an estate that did not have children my daughter's age. So therefore we had to improvise. So for example, we're intentional about inviting her peers over on the weekends. Secondly, the co-op is what bridges that gap because we meet as a co-op once a week. Children of the same age are divided into classes. Their further learning takes place, but it's much more relaxed, not quite as rigid as what would happen at home.
I would like to actually respond by asking a question, what's socialization? Because when people talk about socialization, they mean children play. But socialization has two aspects to it. There's the vertical and then there's the horizontal socialization. And vertical is relationship between the child and people who are older than her or younger than her. And then there's the horizontal one, which is peer-to-peer. The one people speak about mostly is peer-to-peer relationship. Well, we live in an estate and our estate offers play. Children every day from 3 p.m. there are so many of them out here and they'll play till 6 p.m. We also have, during her breaks, she's able to go out and kick the ball and play with other children who are either on midterm or are younger than her and therefore not going to school. That's how she's able to play. And of course, during the week, she interacts. When our co-op meets on Tuesday, children learn and play the whole day. So playing is part of her life, which she gets every single day. On the other spectrum, it's that she's also interacting with adults every day and children who are younger than her. And everywhere we go, we're going with her. She's interacting in our business. She's interacting with other people that we meet. Therefore, in terms of socialization, I believe homeschool children are the most social kids that you'll ever find. Because what happens when you're in school, you only interact with your age mates. And all the time you're supposed to keep quiet, walk in a line, finger in the mouth, do not talk to other people because it's class time. On the school bus home, keep quiet, no jumping. So the only time they get to play really is when they're at home. And when they go out, children who've not learned to socialize and interact with people who are older than them or younger than them, then they tend to stick in cliques and in their groupings. They're afraid to approach adults. They're afraid to talk to children who are younger than them, or even talk to kids who are a class higher than them because they don't belong in their clique.
I don't know. You're cutting on cost in the sense that I'm not paying a teacher and I'm not paying administration fees and the rest, but you should see the number of books we have already. You see, because we do not have a rigid system that it submits 8 textbooks for you to do in a term. We have 4 textbooks for math. Yeah, we have one for a Singaporean system. There's one for a British system. There's the one done by a Kenyan. I can't remember what the 4th one is. That's because if division is difficult using the old tried and tested Kenyan, the other one is Indian. Then use the Indian system where they divide things differently from the British.
Well, we have had a family member say that they're going to sue us or take us to the children's department or someplace like that, because she said that we were not taking our child to school. And the reason for that is because we were homeschooling, but we were able to resolve it. The thing is, we've got to understand it's because the notion of homeschooling is so foreign that people believe that when your child is not in school, therefore they are not learning. And those two are not equal, they're not the same. We are yet to get fully recognized. It's still back and forth. It's not yet entrenched in the Constitution per se, but there's a place where it talks about children receiving an education. So whether it's home education, there's still gray areas in the law, and that's how we plug in. So children getting an education. And so because we can prove that the child is getting an education, therefore we are on the law side. We also belong to a group that knows that we teach, and people who we hold each other accountable and are able to vouch for each other and say, yes, these children are actually going to school, they are being taught and they are learning. Because the law requires us to examine the children, which we are already doing. The law requires us to show that they are progressing according to their age and grade level, which we are able to prove by showing the portfolios and the work and the work that the children are able to do, like their exercise books. You can actually be able to see.
First of all, as a parent, you are already more knowledgeable than your child. That's all that's required. But secondly, as a parent, you will have to work very hard. You have to read and educate yourself. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's no college of homeschoolers, homeschooling parents.
I think when every child is born, there's a vision for them. Like, you want this child to grow up to be a mature, respective person in the society. And one of the ways they are able to do that is through education. And so I think if parents are able to take the education of their children seriously by either homeschooling them or by being there even if they go to normal school, look at their homeworks, find out how they are doing, find out those things that are not able to be asked. A teacher will not be able to do, like, how are you really doing? How do you feel when someone talks to you this way? Because I believe that's part of education, and it's not just learning. So I would encourage parents to be there for their children. Examination, when Hazel reaches the age for doing either KCPE or IGCSE, we will know what exam she'll take. And we are allowed to sign them up as private candidates. So we'll go to NEC and we either book for KCSE or KCPE or IGCSE.
Ni vitu kama hivi vinavyofundisha watoto wanaosoma nyumbani kushika wanyama ambao ni hatari na ambao tunaogopa. Mimi ni mtu mzima lakini nimeshika, lakini uoga niko nao. Watoto hawa wanafundishwa kutoa uoga. Ni jambo ambalo ni nadra kuona kwa watoto wanaosomeshwa shuleni.
Homeschooling is the way to be.